Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of The Full Scope. So far, we've talked about who we are trying to help our customers become, and we touched on the two models that we use to try and help them get there. The CRM Ready organization, which is a high-performance framework that includes 3 components, and the Business Outcomes Framework, which is a method for capturing goals and objectives that drives change through the organization if the CRM Ready model has been integrated into the company. Today, we're going to hit on that third building block of the CRM Ready organization, and that is cadence. So what do we mean by cadence? Cadence is the rhythm that you establish to keep your initiative moving forward. There's an old quote by Peter Drucker that says, "What gets measured gets managed." Over time, that quote has morphed into what gets measured gets done, and it's just as true today as it was back then. But high-performing CRM-ready organizations add a step to that because they think about scheduling in the exact same way. And here's the reason why. They know that if they don't set aside time to focus specifically on their initiative, it'll get lost in the whirlwind of everything else that it takes to keep their business running from day to day. So what kinds of meetings are they having? There's 2 basic types. The first is a more tactical meeting. That meeting includes the CRM admin or admins and the core team, the subject matter experts. They usually meet on something of a monthly basis or some rhythm like that, but sometimes, especially right after a release, it may be more frequent, maybe weekly even, until things become stable. In these meetings, they hit on a few topics pretty regularly. The first of those is they talk about overall user adoption of the system, right? How are we doing overall as an organization? And then they drill into the tactics. How is the organization doing against the tactics that were defined, the things that we're trying to do to change, to move the organization? And they'll also hit on any technical issues that might need to be addressed or end user feedback that they're getting. So that's the first type of meeting. The second type of meeting is a more strategic meeting, and this involves the leadership team and the executive team. And they usually meet on a longer cadence. So that will usually be once or twice a year in most cases. What they talk about in their meetings, though, is they talk about the strategic objectives, the outcomes. How are we doing against the outcomes? Do we do more? Do we do less? Is it working? Is it not working? They also talk about CRM-related investments. So any upcoming projects, any equipment they might need to buy, and upgrades that they might need to do. And they also talk about communication. Remember, leadership is responsible for reinforcement and communication of the vision throughout the organization. So those are the 2 types of meetings and what they usually hit on in those sessions. So what is all this meeting about? What are they trying to gain? They're trying to do 2 things. Number 1, they're trying to keep things moving forward by meeting regularly. And secondly, they're holding each other accountable for what's supposed to happen so that they're actually making progress week over week. To make that happen, a meeting needs to be structured in a certain way. So you need to absolutely discuss what happened between meetings. So last meeting, there were things that people were supposed to do. Did they get done? Did they not get done? What's the reason? And then you're going to have a discussion about the topics, whatever the current topics are that you need to hit on for this meeting, regardless of which team you're on. And then you're going to make some decisions in most cases, right? What are we going to do about this or that? The big point in any type of meeting is assignment. We talk about ownership all the time. It's really important here, whether we're involved or not, that someone takes ownership for the things that are supposed to be done. And then they go away and they execute on those. And the next meeting, they start off in the exact same way. Let's talk about how we did. So organizing the meeting to be effective is a really important part of making this work. So that's it for this episode. As always, if you have topic ideas or feedback or anything you want to tell me, look in the description below and click on the link, and it'll take you to the OneNote that we've set up to capture that information. And as always, have a great day.